Okay, alright guys, for those of you that are here for snorkeling class, I'm going to be doing it back here. If everyone can come a little closer this way. We'll let people that are wanting to slide and jump over there. You guys can kind of just sit around here, create a nice half circle if you want. Alright. How you guys all doing? Yep. Whose first time is it snorkeling? Okay, about half of you. The rest of you just want a few extra tips, tricks, maybe some entertainment. We'll see about that. Alright, so first things first, take off your sunglasses or any type of reading glasses. You can't do that with the mask. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over every step, between adjusting it, putting it on, preventing water from getting in, getting water out, etc. But before I do, I just want to let you guys know that I've never snorkeled. This is my first time doing this speech. I just read the manual, so you guys should learn a lot today. Just kidding. Okay, tough crowd, tough crowd. Alright, so before I get going, I've been snorkeling since I was like 5, literally. And it's literally my favorite sport because it's the most relaxing sport. Alright, snorkeling, if you guys forget everything else that I'm about to tell you about how to actually snorkel, snorkeling is a relaxing sport. So just remember that. If you can relax, not move very fast, just nice calm strokes, relax all your facial muscles, stop not moving too much, your arms, then you'll actually have a better experience and you'll have less leaking and so forth. You'll see more as well because a lot of things down there, if you're trying to cover a lot of ground and explore really far, you may do that, but you may not see much because a lot of things are camouflaged, like octopus. They actually look like a coral head, and so unless you're stationary and kind of like watching really closely, you won't see an octopus move from one rock to another because it looks like a coral head. Or you won't see eels that are kind of slowly sticking their head out of the rocks and then retreating back in. So you miss a lot if you actually go too fast. So nice relax, nice and slow. Okay, now to do with the mask. Before I put it on my face, I loosen all the straps. They should all already be loosened from when we clean them. But if they're not, I loosen them because I find it's a lot easier to loosen it and then tighten it once it's on your face than to play the guessing game. Tighten it, try and put it on. Oh, it's not tight enough. Take it off again. Tighten it. Oh, it's too tight. Now I gotta loosen it up again. So if you just loosen it, put everything to the side like this, and then put it on your face where it's supposed to go over the eyes and nose. Hold it with one hand, and with the other hand, put the strap at the crown of your head. Okay, once it's there, then you give it a couple of clicks on each side. Make sure you tighten it evenly. Okay? If it's not tightened evenly and it's super tight on one side and not the other, then what it's going to do is it's going to push to that one side and create some discomfort on that other side of the nose. And it'll go over your hair right here on that one side and cause it to leak through that hair. So make sure it's tightened evenly. Now, you don't want it too tight. That's a big misconception as well. People tighten their mask way too much on a daily basis. I see it all the time. People come out with a red ring around their face and they look real silly. So that's how I know you've had it too tight. But secondly, what that does is if you have it too tight, it squeezes your skin together, creates wrinkles, and lets water in through those wrinkles. So people think that their mask is leaking, so they tighten it more and more, and that actually is causing a bigger problem. That's causing it to leak more. So just remember, just as tight as a baseball cap, okay? Just as snug as a baseball cap. Any tighter than that, then it's just causing discomfort, and you'll look real silly when you come out. That's the first thing that causes water to leak. The other thing is the strap. Like I said, you want it at the crown of your head. If it's lower than that, and if it's touching your ears at all, then it's too low. And what will happen is it'll cause the mask to slowly droop down over the top lip, and it'll cause it to leak because of that. Okay, so if it's kind of filling in your nose area, it's probably because the strap's too low. The next thing that causes water to leak, and that's a big one, is hair, just like this guy right here. You want to make sure all the hair's out. Yep, so open up the top and pull everything out. I don't think you got that, but that's okay. So make sure all the hair's out of here. And then if you have a mustache, unfortunately, you're going to have a leaky experience today. So we have Vaseline that kind of slows it down. It creates a fake gasket, but only a temporary razor really fixes it perfectly. So you'll just be emptying it every few minutes if you have a mustache. Now, the next thing that causes water to leak is not checking the seal properly. I see people all the time about to go in with it folded over, and it may feel comfortable, you may not even feel that, but physically touch the seal and make sure it's not folded over anywhere before you go in the water. Okay, that's really important. The next thing that causes water to leak is smiling. There's no smiling allowed in snorkeling, okay? If you guys are having too much fun, that's probably why it's leaking. So just remember that anytime you smile, and it's kind of a silly thing to talk about, but it's kind of serious at the same time. See that right there? Anytime you smile, it changes your face right there, and it causes water to leak in through there. So if it's leaking through your mask, it's A, because your strap's too low, B, because you have a mustache, or C, because you're having too much fun. All right, so just serious face. Try not to move your facial muscles that much. The more you move them, the more it leaks. The next thing that causes water, and the last thing that causes water to leak, is breathing out through your nose, okay? This is probably one of the most common ones with new snorkelers, because you're not used to only being able to breathe through your mouth. You'll unconsciously, every so often, be breathing through your nose. First of all, you won't get any air. Secondly, it'll fog up your mask even if you put defog in, because that hot air on the inside of the mask and the cold water on the outside fogs it up. And the third thing that'll happen is it'll cause it to leak. So check this out. See how it moves the suction for a split second? So it releases the suction for a split second and lets water in that way, and then boom, you got a little bit of water in there. So those are all things that cause water to leak. Don't worry about if you forget all that stuff. Just realize that, especially if it's your first time, water's probably going to leak, because that's a lot of things to try and remember to not do. So if water goes in, just take it out by holding the top and opening just the bottom. I let gravity work for me, and it all drains out in a second, and boom, I pop it right back on. People, when they're freaking out, or it's okay if you do this, but I see people pull it off all the way, and that's fine, but then hair falls back in, and then you have to check the seal again because it might be folded over. So this is a nice quick way of doing it, especially if you have a mustache and you're going to be doing it every couple minutes. Boom. Okay, that's everything you need to know about the mask. Moving on to the snorkel. It's adjusted or held on by these two little things right here on the side. It's like figure eights, two circles. And it's a lot easier to adjust this when you're in the water. So maybe wait till you're in the water because it's slippery, so it moves a lot easier. But the basic concept is if it's too far away, you slide it up instead of trying to bend it to get it in your mouth. And if it's jamming up your throat and kind of pushing over to the side, to the left there, just slide it down a little bit. It's a matter of comfortability on how you adjust that. The next thing that you can adjust is the mouthpiece. So make sure that when this is in your mouth, this is not facing forward. Okay, if it's facing forward, then guess what? You don't have a snorkel, you have a straw right here. So this becomes a straw and you're sucking up water. Make sure that it's swiveled so that, and I physically touch it just like I do the seal before I go in the water. When this is in my mouth, I check and make sure that this is pointing at the crown of my head, where the strap should be. Okay, physically touch it, okay, that's good. If it's too far back, then also the same thing, you won't be getting much air. So that's pretty much how to adjust this. Now to how to actually use it. This is basically just a glorified mouth guard. So you want to basically put your teeth around those two little tabs to prevent the snorkel from falling out of your mouth. Okay, so don't bite down on it too hard, otherwise those things will bite off and you'll probably choke on those things. But just create a nice, secure, snug fit so that it doesn't fall out of your mouth. And then the rest of it goes on the outside of your teeth, but on the inside of your cheeks. Okay, if that doesn't make sense, watch this. Okay? So my mouth is over this whole thing right here. Now I'm the one that is controlling how much water goes inside my snorkel. People come to me all the time saying, oh, my snorkel's leaking, can I get a different one? It's like, well, yes, it is probably leaking, either because you're going down too far, or you're looking down too far, or it's not adjusted properly, it's facing forward, and so it's coming up through the top, or someone's just having fun with you and splashing water in. That happens too. Or because you're the one that's not keeping your lips tight enough on this, okay? So just like the mask is being held on by straps, your lip muscles are what's keeping water from entering in right there. So make sure you keep your lip muscles tight around that at all times. Anytime you let go for a split second with your lip muscles, water's gonna come in. So it's not a big deal for this thing to fill up with water. It does all the time with me too, especially when I'm smiling and having fun. So to get all the water out, it's pretty simple. I just yell out the number 2. Okay? You ready? Kind of sounds like it. 2, 3 doesn't work. It just doesn't get it all out for some reason. So try the number 2. If your lung capacity is not strong enough to get it all out with a couple blows of 2, just take it out of your mouth, twist it, and drain it upside down like that. Okay? That is everything you need to know about snorkeling. But if you forget all of that, what was the one thing I told you to remember? Relax. That's right. Take your time, go slow. If this is your first time, you may feel a little overwhelmed with all of this stuff. Maybe just take this out with you, but just put it up here and put this to the side and just go for a swim first so you can get acclimated and get used to the temperature, the way the waves are moving and the swell's kind of moving back and forth, and so you get acclimated to everything else first and then have to worry about this instead of all at once. So that's my best advice. I hope you guys have fun. Enjoy your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. But again, I've never really snorkeled, so this is from the handbook. I hope it works for you guys.
Yeah, I don't want to piss you off.
Yeah.